Welcome to the K-State Sodcast. I'm happy to be here with Loren Breedlove. Loren was the golf course superintendent here at Kansas City Country Club, where we're now sitting for a lot of years. And Loren, I hate to admit it, maybe you hate to admit it too, it was 42 years that you've been on this side.
42 years ago when I first started here, May of 1979.
Yeah, and I still remember, and I hate to say it too, 40 years ago, coming out here as an intern, and you were my boss as the assistant superintendent. So started as you were an intern. And
I started, an intern in 79, and then became assistant superintendent in December of 79.
Okay.
And then took over the head position December of 84, or actually January 85.
January 85. So the impressive thing, and we've talked about this before, is if you look at the average term at a typical golf course, whether it be golf course superintendent or general manager or whatever, it's usually not an extended period of time. So you've been so successful for such a long period of time at the same location. I might just touch upon some of the things that made you so successful while you were here. And you can also maybe translate that to existing superintendents and their success, and those that might have interest in the industry too. So what do you think about, what contributed? I'm sure it was to some degree employees that you had and worked with you, not necessarily for you, right? With you.
Exactly. We worked as a team.
Yeah.
Probably the main thing is the membership and the support you have from your members, them understanding what it takes to get the conditions that you want to give to them.
Mm-hmm.
But also I've told everybody, probably where people maybe have lost their jobs or not stayed around so long, is adapting to change. The willingness that if the club wants to go a different direction, or not be set in stone on everything that you do. There's always a better way of doing things, and just be open. Your assistants bring great ideas, your employees bring great ideas. Memberships playing courses all over the country, so they're giving you ideas, not that you have to follow everyone's advice.
But I do remember you saying that members would sometimes speak up, and some might find that offensive at times, but you actually sometimes, even though it might have seemed a comment you didn't like, sometimes you thought about it.
Yeah, I've always kind of said, cherish the feedback of others. Just because someone might be a little bit critical on what you've done or not doing or whatever, take it in stride. You might learn something from just listening to what their views are and how they see things, but also, you've got to look at the big picture. You can't just satisfy the few. You got to look at the whole membership and how it's going to, enhance the golf course overall.
And so the flexibility comes about with members, with the employees that change, with general managers and pros that change. There's got to be flexibility in the way you interpret things, right?
Exactly. I've been through, I think, 3 or 4 general managers. When I first started here, it was just a club manager, the golf course, and just was run by committees. The club was run by committees, but it got to a point where committees just weren't working out, because there's a commitment, and some did real well, and some just, kind of failed a little bit. So they adopted the general manager philosophy, and like you say, the philosophy and general managers are all over the place too. So that's where I'm saying you got to adapt to change, because, you're used to doing something one way with one manager, then someone else comes in and, for some reason he didn't like anything that was done by that manager, so he comes up with his own,
Right.
management style, whatever. And it's
Yeah.
also working with all the other
Mm-hmm.
managers within the club too. You know, I think we worked as a great team here at
Mhm.
the country club, that everyone had each other's back, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you didn't really get down because someone else had your back, and you know,
Right.
we worked as a team.
That makes sense. Over the years, I've kind of considered Kansas City Country Club and you as kind of a tie to K-State. You're a K-State alum, but in terms of interns and assistants and so on. So how did you maintain that, and how important do you think that is?
I think that was very important through my career.
Mhm.
You know, being at one of the top clubs in Kansas City, it might have been a little bit easier to entice students if they wanted to stay in the Midwest or Kansas City area, with my ties to K-State. And kind of once you get into that, you know, one or two interns or assistant that you've hired from Kansas State, it just makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But I've had some great interns that some of those interns became my assistant.
Right.
But other interns, I mean, they've gone on to make careers in golf course management or lawn care industry. Or
Sure, you've gone
as
different
well.
directions.
Yeah.
And the involvement you've had has also been beneficial to K-State in terms of teaching and getting the students information on what the career is about and that kind of thing. So it's always been helpful over the years. So we always talk about, you know, you always hear in the golf course management industry, the knowledge of turfgrass science versus your ability to be good at communicating and managing people. What are your thoughts on the balance of those?
Well, I mean, yeah, you've got to be balanced in everything. I mean, you got to have the basics, your cultural practices. You got to be true to those and not forget about the basics, basically. You know, how to grow grass and what it takes to have healthy turf, and not just what the golfer wants, you know, the 11, 12 stimp meter readings, you know, in the middle of the summer, or, you know, things like that. The rough mowed down to 2 inches in the heat of the summer. So you got to, you know, rely on the basics of turf science, rely on the research that's being done. You know, we were very lucky to have you and have Kansas State so close to us. And open, that all we needed to do is make a phone call and have the answers. So that was a big part of my success.
And would you put the communication and the people management equivalent to what you need in terms of turf science knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, having qualified assistants that have been through a turfgrass program, you know, I think I had anywhere from 2 to 6 at a time that have gone through the turfgrass program. My mechanic went through the turfgrass program. You know, I had 3 or 4 assistants that went through the turfgrass program. You know, it just, you know, and trying to, just help them out, understand, you know, to get to the next level, what it takes. You know,
that's good.
Very rewarding to see someone take the next step.
Yeah. You've been quite involved in organizations, GCSA, Heart of America Golf Course Superintendents Association, Kansas Turfgrass Foundation. How important is all of that involvement to you, do you think?
Well, just interacting. These are all people in your profession, and interacting with those people. I mean, it's just, it's so neat, and you learn so much from other people, whether it's, you know, extension or research person through KTF, or my colleagues, other superintendents with the Heart of America, you know, even the USGA, I throw them out there, just having those agronomists stop by and just educate, you know, you from, you know, them seeing other golf courses, you know, all over the country. It was huge.
Just a strong network of communication.
Yeah, networking is the key to being successful as well.
Yeah, I agree. That makes sense. What was the most? Well, let's go start with the bad one first. What's the most difficult part of this career? What do you think?
The most difficult, you know, a couple things. number one, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
You know, she could throw you the biggest curveballs, and you could have a plan that, you know, the first of the week, all these things you want to get done, or day by day a plan, and she could throw you a curveball overnight that you have a windstorm or a heavy rain, and being here with Brush Creek going through and Rock Creek going through our course, it could be devastating if we had too much rain. So Mother Nature is, you know, you got to deal with her. She could be your kindest friend, and she could be your worst nightmare as well.
And did you have another one you mentioned?
You know, toward the end of the career, you know, labor is becoming an issue for everybody in our industry. Expectations have gotten higher and higher every year, and it's hard to find good labor. You know, I've had some great people, and I'm thankful for them, but I needed twice as many. I'm amazed we got what we did accomplished at times. So very thankful to them for all their hard work.
And that might tie into the next question. What was most beneficial out of being in this kind of position for that long? The glory or the best side, I suppose.
I think the best side is meeting people, you know, your staff, the staff at amongst the club, the other departments, day in and day out, working with them, whether, you know, they have a big banquet outdoors or have to put tents up on the course or whatever, but meeting people of the industry, whether it's salespeople, researchers, university people, like I said, USGA, and even meeting celebrities like Tom Watson. It's quite a treat to be at his home course.
Yes. So that's good. And you had the option to go to the Ryder Cup a few years ago.
Yeah, went to the Ryder Cup over across the pond. So when Tom was captain.
That was at Ireland, right?
Yeah. It was actually in Scotland.
Scotland, sorry.
But unfortunately, we didn't come through. But it was a great experience. First time I've been over there, and I'm ready to go back.
That's good. Yeah. So any thoughts you can throw out to those, maybe they're students, maybe they're high school students coming into this industry, the benefits? You think it's good?
Yes, you know, if I had to do it all over again, I mean, I was lucky. I was kind of, when I was in school, I didn't know really what I wanted to do. When I went to college, you know, I went into horticulture. I thought it'd be more maybe landscape or, you know, who knows, turf management of some type, sports field or whatever. But I was introduced to golf as an intern, and just fell in love with being on a golf course, the game, and it just happened to be at the right place, the right time, and that's what it led to. But it's hard work. I mean, you know, the summers in Kansas or Kansas City area, it's hot, it's humid, but you know, you get through it. You know, just being at a peaceful place like a golf course, nothing better. I early mornings, hearing the birds chirp and the sun come up. And,
having your office outside.
Yeah, your office is outside. Nothing better than going back in the evening time when the sun's setting and seeing all the shadows of the golf course and seeing everything manicured, and it's nice.
Wow. Anything else you wanted to point out?
No, like I said, it was a great career, and I'm so thankful that I chose it, and thankful that I was at one club for 42 years. And you know, like I say, that kind of tells you how great a membership I really had, that they put up with me for 42 years.
That's great. And we do know that you and Barbie are both very strong fans of K-State, football, basketball, and the Chiefs.
Chiefs fans, yep.
Okay.
So I went to Super Bowl a couple years ago, so that was a treat.
If you have to pick a sporting event to attend, if you were limited to one, what would it be? In terms of the sport, the team, and so on.
That's a good question. Super Bowl, that was a hard one to beat, but that might have been once in a lifetime as far as the cost.
That's the one we won, right?
Yeah, it's one we won,
recently,
but it hurt the pocketbook a little bit. But no, I would say the Ryder Cup was a great experience. I've been to a couple Ryder Cups, and it's just if you're in the golf industry, that's kind of the
Yeah.
peak. Went down to Masters. That's also
Yeah.
was a treat. I'd like to go back down to the Masters. So
Very cool.
golf is still in my heart.
Yeah, I agree with you. Loren, thanks for taking the time and all you've done for us at K-State and for the industry overall. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. Thanks for joining the Sodcast today.